There were more people on the river than along it, passengers or working the oars on barges of all sizes, some clearly moving goods, some clearly moving people, some no doubt belonging to the military. There was no respite from the sun along the river. Few chose to walk along it. 3 Finnish men washed baskets full of clothing in the river, sitting on one of the regular sets of stone steps descending from above to below the water line. Emmonsdeuter and Saira are walking, taking in the sights. Sulfiz is new to both of them. Emmonsdeuter burps extravagantly. Damn! Tastes worse the second time. It wasn't so bad. Listen, I don't want to get into a whole thing with you, okay? I don't get you, and you don't get me, and we don't have to, and we sure don't have to get all up in arms about the fucking food, am I right? It wasn't so bad. You fucking lie. Now, here's this. I'm going to take the old man back home. I know that you think you're going to do something else with him, and I'm real sorry that you won't, but I've got a mission, and I'm going to complete it, and that's just the way it is. Now, go ahead and threaten me. Saira bites down hard on the threat she was about to issue. She won't be commanded to do what she was about to do. What makes you think he is not home here? Where did you meet him? No? Have you met? Oh, I get it. No comment. Right. Whatever. I'll find out. No. If I have to kill you, I will. If you have to... Listen, bitch. You couldn't. Shit. Forget it. I'll kill you after we find the old man. Coward. Yeah, that's it. Coward. Whatever. Look, it's not you. It's not personal. Let's say it's the heat. Emmonsdeuter pulls her dress up over her head, her arm in the sling making the process longer, harder, and more painful than she had imagined, but she makes it. Tugs off her boots. Stark naked, she leaps into the water and comes up with a happy shout of joy. Saira watches the whole process with a look that might signal amusement or alarm, possibly disgust. Yes! Jump in! Warm as a bucket of piss, but it feels amazing. Goodbye. Your loss. See you at the statue. I hope you drown. Would you please take that whole goddamn shrub out of your precious furry ass and get in here? It'll do you good. I don't think so. I get it. Aw, shit. Really? You can't swim, can you? You can't swim! I can swim. Oh, you can't. Slap splashing water in Saira's general direction. I choose not to swim. You can't swim. Emmonsdeuter flips over and wiggles her toes at Saira. A knot of Fend walk by as the clockswoman cavorts. They study Saira, they see Emmonsdeuter, they exchange shocked and disgusted remarks in Finnish, pick up the pace, and get gone. You are embarrassing me. They are appalled. Appalled? Who talks like that? Shit, like I care. Anyway, come on. Let's appall these Finnish prude bastards like they've never been appalled before. I just might be able to do that. That's the spirit. Show him some actual tale. Give him a thrill. Were you not listening, or do you not speak Finnish? Maybe I was underwater, or maybe the second thing. What did they say? They gagged a lot. Then they exchanged variations on all that hair. You're kidding. Saira gingerly dips the toe of one boot into the river. You're not kidding. Falcon. Probably jealous anyway. Can't grow it, so they pretend to get all grossed out about... I knew a chick like that. Had the tiniest tits you ever saw. More like indentations. Used to look at girls with big boobs and make like she was gonna puke. They can grow hair. They can... What? They can grow hair. They have hair. They shave it off. Whoa! Hold up. You are actually telling me, that every motherfucking man, woman, and child I have seen in this city does the bald thing because they think it's, what, sexy? No fucking way. Or maybe they're sacrificing any chance of not looking like a nation of brown cocks. Shit, now you've got to get your hairy ass in here. Hell, if I can get him gagging, you should be able to inspire vomit with the tail alone. I don't like swimming. Spoil sport. I am not such a fool as you. And you can't swim. I don't swim with alligators. There are alligators in here. I have heard so. Well, crap. I sweat to death or I'm eaten by fucking alligators. Whatever the fuck alligators are. Alligators eat people, right? I have heard so. Hell of a choice. Shit. Give me a hand. Sayura cautiously extends a hand to Emmonsdeuter and is pleasantly surprised not to be yanked into the water. Your clothing, please. Emmonsdeuter turns to the nearest barge and points her pelvis at it, shouts, There are men who'd pay big time for a show like this. Come on! Tell me you don't like a little cushion for your pushin'. Get dressed. Don't tell me you're offended by a little hair. Not the presence of hair. The absence of tail. Honestly, I can't figure out how you human females ever get laid. Emmonsdeuter grabs up her discarded sling, checks her wound for any sign the healer's work has been undone, and pushes around her sweaty dress with a foot. You should hurry. Give me a second. You really should hurry. You don't like my tailless tail, don't look. Never mind, you can run naked. Emmonsdeuter's head snaps around and she spots the rowboat. 4 fend aboard, each with a weapon and the look of someone looking to use it. Where'd they come from? You are injured and entirely unarmed. We should retreat. That would be the smart thing to do. Emmonsdeuter quickly runs the situation. She figures fist spike fighting can't be all that different from knife fighting. There wouldn't be any weapon-to-weapon parrying even if she had a weapon. Fuck it. Of course, I'm not all that bright. Sayura's head tilts at the end of her long neck in body language Emmonsdeuter can't read. The Simondons bobs around leftwise to draw their opponents apart, to open up a killing ground. Emmonsdeuter lets the men get out of their boat and start toward them. Then she runs straight at the man furthest to the right, eyes cool and slightly out of focus, putting the priority on peripheral vision. The spikers turn to face the immediate threat. At the last possible moment, Emmonsdeuter collapses under her target's punch to the face, drops to her side, and kicks hard at his knee. A crunching, ripping sound. Emmonsdeuter reaches up, takes his arm, and guides it down as he falls, driving the fist spike at the end of that arm into the foot of the next bastard. She rolls to the side to the sound of a piece of metal smashing rock maybe a hand's breadth behind, kicks up. 2 opponents on their feet and facing her, one gushing blood from his foot. Sayura springs up and over her opponent, a beautiful move but slow. He easily turns around, ready for her. She dances to the side, he tracks her, slowly, closing the distance, walking in an imaginary circle with the fist spike pointed at her throat. Emmonsdeuter walks right at her unharmed challenger. No fool he. The challenger adjusts to the clockswoman's proven ability to duck under a blow. He pushes off with one foot, lets the impulse travel up and around, spring through his hips, and launch his fist right at her heart. She steps into the thrust, reaching up and around and brushing the side of the Fenn's arm with her good arm. It takes next to no strength to redirect his attack off target and into the space under her armpit, where she traps it and smashes her forehead into his nose, and it shatters. And if she didn't need to release him so she can turn to deal with Gimpy, she'd smash his toes and knee him in the groin and take a forearm to his throat. But she does have to release him and turn and deal with Gimpy. Sayura's opponent puts all his focus on her long, sinuous throat. His total focus unsettles Sayura. She holds back, sliding back and away every time he closes distance. Gimpy uses both arms to try to power his fist spike into Emmonsdottir's soft, important bits. So she uses both hands to smash down on his wrists and send the spike between her knees. Then she leans back and reverses her hands. Not a great deal of power to be gained there after expending so much on the original smash down. Fortunately, he's got his mouth open a bit. The palms of both hands close his mouth with a great clacking of teeth. Not very damaging, but it sure is disorienting. Lets her step over his arms, turn, spin, and drive an elbow into his face. Broken Knee trying to stand the idiot, while Smash Nose is taking the plunge into the dark, dangerous waters of rage. Good. Sayura's foot strikes something and she stumbles. Turns out her opponent wasn't just looking for an opening, he was driving her into this moment when he can spring forward into that one perfect blow, and if Sayura were human, the blow would certainly have entered her windpipe, blown out the back of her throat, and ended any chance Emmonsdotter might learn Sayura's name direct from the source. But Sayura is not human. Her tail ended the stumble a fraction of a second faster than any human could. Her compact torso can swivel faster and more effectively. Her neck can arch away from the blade tip independently from all the other actions, so he misses. She leaps back. Status quo ante. Smash Nose tries the old point reverse trick, taking the tip of his blade around in a circle and trying to hit Emmonsdottir's kidneys from the side. It's an old trick, a good trick, especially if your target is behind a tree or something. In this case, it just gives Emmonsdottir a spectacular view of the man's elbow. She puts her bad forearm on this side of his arm, to one side of that joint. She puts her good forearm on the other side of his arm, to the other side of that joint. Push, pull, pop, it's like magic. She's made a working joint disappear. Not to mention the threat of the man, which gives her time to feint at Broken Knee, scary enough to make him fall on his face, grab Gimpy by the ear and swing him in a circle until she's holding the ear, and he's, rolling across the stones, sans a certain fleshy external flap. 3 down. Sayura rededicates herself to the proposition that she is a deadly predator, and this foolish Fend is her prey. She stops where she is, not going to let this bastard make a fool of her again. No, she'll wait for him to get close, wait for her moment. She coils herself, ready to spring. "Hey!" Emmonsdottir shouts and throws an ear into the face of the guy about to gut Sayura. Just the right amount distracting. Sayura leaps forward, gets just outside the flashing fist spike, catches his shoulder with her nails, rakes around to his back, kicks off again, scrambles up his waist, and gets a good, toothy grip on the scruff of his neck. Emmonsdottir watches Sayura get shaken off, sees the Fend bleeding freely but not mortally wounded run for the boat. Emmonsdottir runs behind, catches up to him, powers him forward past the boat, right off the edge of the stairs, into the river. "Now," Emmonsdottir calls to Sayura, "I'm all sweaty again. You sure you won't come for a swim with me?" "No." Drinky splashes around, blood from his wounds a drifting cloud behind him. "Gotta finish them off. This guy going splishy splashy? Figure we can do that right there in the drink. Ah, right. You can't swim." The creature that takes the man's head is hardly the largest of the species, but it's plenty big for the job. Sayura wipes blood from her mouth. "I don't swim with alligators."